All right, everybody, welcome to today's Tech Talk Tuesday. And today's video has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited to finally be able to start putting the dash back together for my Dodge Challenger and get the car back on the road. Now, today's video, we're just gonna go ahead and go over reassembling of the dash pad itself. There's a number of components that need to be put together on this one, especially that now it's gonna be an AC car. And so we've gotta do things like put the speaker in, and then of course, the speaker grill, and then the AC vents have to go in. And of course, there's the Challenger nameplate that goes on the side of the dash pad. And then of course, reattaching the VIN with the special rosette rivets. And we'll go ahead and we'll get all these things put together. And then in the next video, we're gonna go ahead and assemble the dash pad to the dash frame, which is behind me, and finish off putting the dash completely back together. And then we can go ahead and put it back in the car and be ready to take the car back out on the road. So let's go ahead and dive into getting this dash pad put back together. We'll go ahead and start with the VIN tag and getting that pop riveted back in place. All right, so I've gone ahead and placed the VIN tag in place on the dash pad. I've also gone ahead and pre-punched the holes for the rivets, and that way we're just ready to go and put these rivets in. And then you can just go ahead and these go just like this. And a couple squeezes. There you go. One down, one to go. There we go, 2 done. All right, now that we've got the VIN tag reattached to the dash pad, we can go ahead and start putting the other components back on and get the dash pad ready to be reinstalled into the dash frame. Now, the rivets for the dash VIN are a special rosette rivet that you can get from companies like ECS Automotive. They carry them. I will go ahead and put a link in the description below to those, so that way you can go ahead and order a set if you need to. Now, give you forewarning, they are not the cheapest rivets in the world, but they are correct to have for your VIN on your dash pad. So next up, let's go ahead and get the dash speaker put in here. It's just held in with a couple of screws here in the middle of the dash pad. So get going on those. And then after we get that done, we go ahead and put the speaker grill on and move on to the AC vents. All right, so now that the speaker's in, we'll go ahead and put the speaker grate in, and that's held in with just 4 screws. Now, I've also, as a little trick, I went ahead and pre-punched those holes as well. I just used a little punch, and then that punch will also be good to go ahead and reline everything up when I go ahead and put the screws in for the dash grill. Now, the dash grill is a plastic piece, of course, and if yours is like mine, being 50 years old and is cracked from the weather, reproductions are available. That's what this one is. I picked mine up from Ed at the Mopar shop. I'll include a link in the description below. I believe he sources them from Tony D'Agostino at tonyparts.com. So if you'd rather go ahead and get them from Tony's Parts, because you have to do shipping and stuff like that, be my guest. I go ahead and get my parts from Ed because he's local to me, and I can just go to his place and pick them up. And it just makes things really, really convenient for getting these parts for these cars. It's definitely a nice feature having a parts distributor in your backyard. And Ed is great. I've been dealing with Ed for over 20 years now, as I've said in previous videos. And always top-notch customer service, and it's also great because he tends to go to a lot of the local Mopar shows. This last hole is giving me a little bit of fit locating it. There we go. Now we can just go ahead and tighten all these up, and we'll be ready to move on to the next part. All right, now we've got the speaker grate in. Now we're gonna go ahead and flip the dash pad over to go ahead and do the AC vents, just because it's a little easier to get to the backs of where the screws are if it's upside down. And so the vents just go in like so, and then like this, and then they're held in with 2 screws on each of them. So we'll go ahead and get some of those and put those in. Now, it should be noted, if you're gonna convert your car to an AC car and you want the stock style pad like I did, instead of having the vents underneath the dash like most of the aftermarket companies offer, you're gonna have to source the vents used, because unfortunately, those are not currently reproduced. The only dash vent for the AC that is reproduced is the one that goes on the driver's side of the frame here, which I've got right here, which again, this is another part that is reproduced by Tony's Parts, and I got this one from Mopar Ed as well, because like I said before, he has parts in stock and he's down the street, so I don't have to worry about shipping. So this will be for the next video when we go ahead and do the dash frame assembly. So for now, let's go ahead and get the vents installed. So again, I went ahead and pre-punched the vent mounting screw holes, so that way it's easier to go ahead and install these vent screws. All right, got the one done, now we'll get the other one done. Now I should also forewarn you that these vents used are quite expensive to find nice ones. Broken ones are relatively inexpensive to find, but if you want a nice set, you're gonna end up spending a decent amount of money on them. But if you want the stock look, that's what you gotta do these days until someone starts reproducing them, unfortunately. All right, there we go. Now we've got the AC vents installed, and all that's left to do is the Challenger Insignia. All right, so the last part to go ahead and install on the dash pad before it's ready to install on the frame is the Challenger Insignia itself, which goes right here on the passenger side of the dash pad. Now this is for 71 to 74 models. 1970 was a unique year and didn't have this, and instead it had Challenger embroidered in the pad, or if you had a Barracuda, it had Barracuda embroidered in the pad. So if you have 70, you don't have to worry about this. Now, normally, these is just pops in. There's 3 mounting tabs on the back. Unfortunately, my mounting tabs, being 50 years old, broke off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it on there with some adhesive, and it'll be good enough for what we're doing here. And there we go. Now the dash pad is all done. All right, and that's today's video. I hope you found this information useful as always. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button, give us that thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously with that YouTube algorithm. And if you want to be kept up to date with all my future uploads, don't forget to smash that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell as well, so that way YouTube will keep you up to date of all the videos I do in the future, like when we go ahead and install this on the dash frame and put the dash frame fully assembled with the new Dakota Digital RTX instrument cluster. You're definitely not going to want to miss out on that. And as always, guys, I will see you the next video.